Welcome to the Easy Peasy Methodcast. Here, we unpack the ins and outs of the Easy Peasy method for quitting porn. This podcast isn't just about getting rid of an addiction, it's about understanding the trap, escaping it, and reclaiming your life as a non user. With a little help from AI magic, I craft conversations that help make the path to freedom feel achievable and even exciting. And let's take a moment to chat about something fascinating and life changing, a concept that's at the heart of Gary Wilson's Your Brain on Porn. The book dives deep into the science of how pornography impacts the brain, and it introduces this brilliant idea called rebooting. It's not just about quitting porn, it's about giving your brain the chance to heal, reset, and rediscover what real pleasure feels like. Think of it as a journey back to balance, where your mind rewires itself to respond to real world joys instead of the artificial highs of pornography. Let's explore this together, step by step, with that friendly podcast vibe. Rebooting is such an empowering concept because it's rooted in neuroplasticity, fancy talk for your brain's ability to rewire and adapt. When someone uses internet porn regularly, their brain starts to change. The reward system becomes desensitized, which means the simple pleasures in life, like enjoying a walk, laughing with friends, or even intimacy, don't feel as satisfying anymore. Why? Because the brain's been hijacked by those intense dopamine spikes that porn delivers. It starts craving novelty and extremes, spiraling deeper into the cycle. But here's the good news. Rebooting gives your brain the break it desperately needs to heal and reset. And trust me, the results can be transformative. So how does this whole rebooting thing work? It starts with taking a step back, abstaining from pornography, porn substitutes, and even masturbation. Yes, all of it. This isn't about deprivation or willpower. It's about letting your brain rest and recalibrate. Over time, those cravings lose their grip, and your brain starts to regain its natural sensitivity. Imagine rediscovering the joys of everyday life, like a great meal, a heartfelt conversation, or a genuine connection with a partner. That's what happens when your brain begins to heal. But rebooting goes beyond just stopping porn. It's about steering clear of all forms of artificial sexual stimulation. Whether it's scrolling through risque social media, diving into erotic fantasies, or sneaking a peek at milder substitutes, your brain doesn't know the difference. It reacts the same way. To truly rewire those pathways, you've got to give the whole system a break. It might feel tricky at first, especially since we live in such a hyperstimulated world, but the payoff is worth it. Here's where things get really interesting. As you shift away from artificial stimuli, you start to focus on real-life interactions. This could mean reconnecting with your partner, building social skills, or exploring hobbies that genuinely excite you. At first, your brain might resist. It's been wired to chase quick, intense rewards. But as you stay consistent, something magical happens. Your brain starts to appreciate the subtle, real-world joys again. Those simple, authentic experiences become rewarding in ways that artificial stimulation never could. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: withdrawal. It's common to hit a rough patch during the early days of rebooting. You might feel moody, anxious, or foggy-headed. That's your brain trying to adjust without its usual dopamine fix. Think of it like detoxing. It's uncomfortable, but it's also temporary. The key is to remind yourself that these feelings won't last forever. As your brain rebalances, the fog lifts, and you start to feel more like yourself, only better. Of course, triggers and urges can make the journey challenging. These triggers, whether it's a memory, an image, or a certain environment, are like little landmines your brain has laid over time. They're sneaky, and they can catch you off guard. But don't worry, Wilson's advice is simple. Be prepared. Whether it's distracting yourself, stepping away from a triggering situation, or practicing mindfulness, you can outsmart those urges. And the best part? With time, those triggers lose their power as your brain rewires itself. A huge goal of rebooting is reestablishing healthy dopamine levels. Porn floods the brain with dopamine, leaving it desensitized and hungry for more. It's a vicious cycle, but as you abstain and let your brain recover, those dopamine pathways normalize. Suddenly, things that once seemed dull, like enjoying a sunset or a hug, become deeply satisfying again. It's like switching from a cheap imitation to the real deal, and trust me, it feels so much better. Let's address some common challenges people face during rebooting. One big one is edging. Getting close to orgasm but not quite finishing, often while watching or thinking about something arousing. Wilson calls this a no-go. Edging keeps dopamine levels high and strengthens those old addiction pathways, which is the opposite of what rebooting is all about. Similarly, sneaking peeks at porn substitutes, whether it's steamy stories, suggestive Instagram posts, or provocative videos, can derail progress. It's important to cut out anything that keeps those old pathways alive. Another tough hurdle is the shame cycle. So many people battling porn addiction feel ashamed or guilty when they slip up. That shame feeds the addiction, creating a loop that feels impossible to escape. But here's the thing. Addiction isn't about moral failure, it's about biology. Your brain got wired a certain way, and now you're rewiring it. Wilson emphasizes self-compassion. Instead of beating yourself up over setbacks, treat them as learning moments. They're part of the process, not the end of it. And let's be real, rebooting takes time. Some people notice changes in a few months. For others, it might take a year or more to fully recover. Everyone's brain is different, and there's no one-size-fits-all timeline. The key is patience. Celebrate the small wins, like feeling more focused, enjoying a good laugh, or reconnecting with a loved one. These little moments are signs that you're on the right path. One of the most inspiring parts of your brain on porn is the success stories. People from all walks of life have shared how rebooting transformed them. Some talk about finally feeling present in their relationships. Others describe improvements in mental clarity, focus, and even physical health. One person shared how they went 500 days without porn and found themselves thriving at work, building stronger connections, and feeling genuinely happy. These stories are living proof that rebooting works, and they're a reminder that you're not alone on this journey. What's amazing is that these changes go beyond just quitting porn. Rebooting reshapes your relationship with sexuality, pleasure, and life itself. It's about stepping into a healthier, more fulfilling way of being. Sure, it's challenging at times, but the rewards, mental clarity, stronger relationships, a sense of control, are worth every ounce of effort. So where does that leave us? Rebooting is deeply personal. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution, and everyone's journey will look a little different. Maybe you'll find support in therapy or a community group. Maybe mindfulness or exercise will become your new go-to tools. Whatever path you take, the goal is the same: to give your brain the time and space it needs to heal. At the end of the day, rebooting isn't just about ditching porn. It's about rediscovering what makes life rich and meaningful. It's about trading artificial highs for real, lasting joys. And it's about reclaiming your power and stepping into the best version of yourself. So take it one step at a time, be kind to yourself, and trust the process. You've got this, and we're cheering you on every step of the way. If you like this podcast, get the word out. Share the Easy Peasy method on your socials, drop a note in forums, and have a chat with your buddies about it. The more people we reach, the more lives we can help transform.